Clutch Trucker filmed before a live and very fuzzy studio audience. That is Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker channel. Alright, driving along I-84 here in Idaho. Just delivered my load that, yes, for those of you scoring at home, I did finally get picked up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, but not till Saturday night. They didn't get they couldn't come up with the right pickup number for me Friday night, so they pushed me a day behind. Still got to spend a day home with the family on Monday, which was nice, and then I just drove early this morning to make the delivery today. Ray already got me another load picking up. 2 pickups, one right near where I'm going to be parking right tonight at the Traveler's Oasis. And then it picks up, that doesn't pick up till 2 p.m. tomorrow, and then I got to pick up on Thursday. And then it goes all the way to Rome, New York. Don't know if you can tell on the video here looking out ahead, but it's very hazy out, still very smoky. So there's still those wildfires, I guess, that are still happening in California and so forth. And the wind blowing them this way because, yeah, it looks pretty hazy. Yeah, the place I delivered to today was kind of fun. It was inside a Quonset hut building, and then they had a ramp way in the back. The problem with one of those is you can't see what you're backing into until you're all the way in the building. But made for kind of some interesting stuff. Let's take a look at the at this. That reminds me of like my favorite Christmas song, the Elmer Fudd singing "Blue Christmas." You know, I'll have a blue Christmas without you. Yeah, so this is kind of an unusual dock situation. Yeah, I'm backed all the way into this Quonset hut, and there's a ramp that I backed up to behind me. And then I have some video of the guy going ahead and taking, they needed the stuff I was bringing immediately, so he's taking one pallet off and bringing it straight over to the plant. Well, look at that. Yeah, always kind of weird being completely inside a building like this getting unloaded, but yeah, I'll show you the forward view of that here in a minute. This guy is doing real quick work of getting me unloaded, which is nice, so that's helpful. So we're gonna head on over to the Traveler's Oasis here in a little bit and find a place to park for the night, because our next pickup isn't until 2 p.m. tomorrow. 2 p.m. I think he's almost done, which is nice. And finally put my tandems back forward. I had to slide them almost all the way back for this load to get it to scale out properly. And yes, I used my app way. I've got videos all about that, the no scale truck scale. So I knew where I was. So at least I can now put my tandem axle back forward. I hate being that stretched out. You're gonna hit curbs more often, you know, and it makes, especially with a heavy load like this one, the truck likes to wander a little bit more. So be nice to get that forward again. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show that real quick here too. As you can see right there, the tandems are pretty far to the back. There's a lot of space between the tandems there and the skirt. I got to try to pull that handle out, and once you get it out, then I can slide them forward. I got to get back in the truck to do it. Now they're more forward. Look at the back towards the trailer there, towards the back end of it. They were closer to that rear bumper. Now I'm going to pop that handle up, and those pins go back into place. Now I'm going to release my door here. Has a little chain there that holds it into place when you're backing in, so it won't flop open on you. Hey, is that a Watch Clutch Trucker on YouTube sign? Yeah, I got that on my back door. And there's looking inside my nice now empty trailer with my lights inside. Get that side closed up, and we'll go around to the other side. Got to undo the chain again on this side like I did on the other one. Holds the door closed against the trailer when you're backing into stuff. and get it closed. Want to make sure it latches up towards the top. My thumb's in the way, so you can't see that. And latch towards the bottom. Get it back in, flip the thing down, and we'll just do a double visual check to make sure everything's all buttoned up, and we're good to go. All right, all closed up, tandem slid, and now we're pulling back out. Yeah, he was a real nice guy who unloaded me. We'll wave on the way out. I'm sure he's gonna go home now. Alright, make sure we get it almost all the way up before we try to turn it. And now, we shall make our way over to the Traveler's Oasis that I've stayed at many times. A little low name, it's an Ambast. It's got a taco time in there. I think they have a Subway too. But I usually try to get the taco time when I'm there, baby. It's good, thank you. Alright, now back on the dirt road and try to make our way over to the county road, and we'll be on our way. Right here to the right, this is a Mart Produce or something. They were loading potatoes. I thought this was the Cargill first. I went in there and waited for 15 minutes for someone to acknowledge me, and they said, "Oh no, you're in the wrong building. Keep on going." Alrighty, here we are getting off at exit 182 on I-84 in, well, near Eden, Idaho for the Traveler's Oasis. Stayed here many times before. It's a big truck stop. There's
Turn left at the stop
parking.
sign, then take the first right.
Thank you, Carmen. So it's a good place to park. They're redoing the building or something. They're doing a lot of construction last time I was here. There is a taco time inside. I've said that before. That's really good. They even have a little mini water fountain or like waterfall in there. But it's a good truck stop, and it's a no-name one, so a lot of the newer guys don't tend to stay here. And like I say, you can almost always find a place to park. I thought that was a real dog up there on the window of that Duck Express truck. It's not, it's a stuffed dog. That's pretty funny. Well, I chose this spot because there's trash cans right nearby, and there's these telephone poles and stuff to my left, so nobody can hit me on that side. The other side's still open, but what are you going to do? Okay, now the big second subject here is, you know, I've been talking about I'm going to remodel the truck because I want to put a toilet in here. That's like the most important thing to me. I'm going to get a sink. I'm going to have a fresh water tank that'll feed the sink and possibly even the toilet, depending on which kind I get. I'm going to get a full-size bunk up there. I'm going to push through that back wall. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about that, mainly toilets. Let's talk toilets, baby! This guy Bob, who was watching my channel, who's going to become a truck driver, and it was asking about some, he's going to be an owner-operator, asking a lot of questions, said if I would mentor him a little bit. We got in contact with him. He said, well, what about a cassette toilet? And I said, well, I thought about that, but I really don't want to cut into the truck. The more and more I thought about that, and the more I looked into them, I'm thinking, actually, that's the way I might want to go if I can. And if you don't know what a cassette toilet is, it's basically like a porta potty. And the black tank, like you would normally have in an RV, which would go underneath your RV, is above the floor into a little area in the toilet. But you have a door on the outside of the truck or RV where you access this and you pull out the cassette, as they call it, or little mini black tank. The neat thing is it has wheels and a handle, then you can just wheel it on into a bathroom and dump it there, or what have you. And I'm thinking, well, that is kind of cool. And then it's permanently mounted. So I have some pictures. Okay, here's what the cassette toilet looks like. It can rotate a little bit. Now here's the door for the outside access. You would put that into the outside wall. Here's the cassette part itself that is with the black holding tank. And the neat thing is it has a handle and has wheels, and you can roll it in to dump it. Now granted, it is a lot more expensive than just like a regular porta potty, which is the other option I'll go with. If I want to put it behind my driver's seat here where I have my cabinet right now. But I think there might be some wires in the way or whatever, so that may stop me from cutting the hole in the wall there to install the cassette type toilet. So if I can't do that, I'll just do a standard porta potty. And Thetford also makes one that's called the Curve that looks really cool. It's a higher toilet, and then it's got its own holding tank. Now the downside is then you gotta take it apart into two pieces, and you gotta drag that holding tank out the truck and then go dump it like you would the cassette one. But you know, it's a lot cheaper, and it does have a mounting plate. I'll show you the pictures of this stuff. This is the Thetford Curve. The upper part has a fresh holding tank. The bottom part is your black holding tank. They separate and you can dump it. Here's the plate that holds it firmly to the floor. So that would work pretty well for me too. You know, it's just not going to be quite as handy and snazzy as that cassette toilet. So I want to go with a cassette toilet if I possibly can. Then it's permanently mounted, and you know, it's ready to go. And then I can attach. I'm going to have a fresh water tank in here anyway. I'll show you where I'm going to put that. Inside this side box, that's where I'm going to put my fresh water tank. And if I can make the cassette toilet work, its outside access will be right here. So, let's see how that works. My freshwater tank is going to feed my new sink. And I found this great little one that's only 7 inches wide and about 14 inches long on Amazon that'll go next to the porta potty back there, or the cassette toilet, whichever one, in between that and where I'm going to move my refrigerator to. So if I'm going to have fresh water feeding the sink, might as well have it feed the toilet as well if I can do the cassette toilet. If not, well, then you do the porta potty one and you got to just pour water into it. That's the other downside to that one. So I'm trying to kind of make this as efficient and as kind of more permanent as I can. If I can do that cassette toilet, that'll be the way to go. I'll have the fresh water tank. It's going to be above the floor. So it should be in a place where it's not going to freeze. I'll have the electric pump. I've got 12 volt back in that area where that cabinet is now, where I'm going to put the toilet, from where the refrigerator was originally on this truck that I told him to take out because it was a tiny little fridge. But there's still the 12 volt supply back there, which will feed the water pump, and it'll feed the cassette toilet for the flush mechanism. The porta potty one has a battery operated little flush mechanism. Now I've read tons of reviews on Amazon that say that battery part keeps crapping out on people, but of course I'm not going to be using the flush mechanism all that much, you know, and you know, if it does crap out on me, well, that's life. You know, they make a piston version. Of course, it's not for sale in the United States, only in Europe. What the hell is that about, Thetford? Alright, it's a mess back here. Since I went back through the house, I haven't had a chance to make my bed yet again. I got my new bedding back there and everything. But this lower bunk, the bed is going away. This little black tray that holds the mattress, that's going away. This upper bunk thing, that's going away, because I'm going to push through that back wall there. And that thing up there is heavy, by the way. So my new bed is going to be about the height of the bottom of this now. If you look along the wall, there's a support for when the bed folds out. And then I have the back of my cabinet behind the driver's seat up here, which is my closet, where my clothes hang and everything. I don't want to lose that. I'm going to have to lose the bottom part of it. But the bed will be here and pushing through the back wall for full size. It'll come to about where the refrigerator is now. That refrigerator is going to move over to here. The sink's going to be here. This is going to be, this cabinet goes away. This is where the porta potty goes, behind the driver's seat. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. The refrigerator moves. This cabinet goes away. I'm going to build a little stairway right here. And there'll be a landing about the height. You can't see it because it's too dark back there. I'll show you on this side where you can see a little bit. Right about the top edge of that window. But on this side, so I can put my feet down and get into the bed, which of course will be all right up in this general area. Now, I've been thinking about this whole renovation for a couple of weeks now, planning everything out. Years and years ago, before I ever got into radio, I kind of considered, I almost became an architect. I like designing stuff. A house we lived in Douglas, Wyoming, which was a modular home. When we were looking at the homes they had available, I'm like, yeah, I don't like really any of your floor plans. If I follow the outside walls and redraw it myself, can I design the house? And they said, sure. So I did. So I kind of like doing that. So I've got a whole plan. It's going to extend about 35 inches out the back, but only in the upper area. And I'll show you from the shot from the back of the truck about where that would be. Okay, look up here to that bracket on the left holding my fairings. Right about there up is where it's going to push out. That bar is going to have to go away holding the springs down, but I don't have to move the condenser there for the APU or the tire rack. I'm going to put a toolbox there to the left to make up for my space lost on my luggage spaces below the bunk. Like I said, I'm going to put a full size up there. I'm going to have a little space to the right for a little table, another little storage area. Where the bunk is now on the bottom, on the right side below my landing, I'm going to build a new closet. I'm going to build a whole little cabinet for the microwave. I'm going to have some extra storage towards the back wall now that sticks out, so I'm going to have a seat there. So I'll have a separate place to sit that's not the driver's seat or the bed. What a concept. In this area up here above the passenger seat, I'm going to build a little cabinet up there as well, because that cabinet goes away. So the main thing I'm trying to figure out now is the toilet situation. I've got a little time in the next couple of days because my first pickup isn't until tomorrow at 2, and then the next pickup's only 170 miles away from there, and it's not until the next day. And I gotta pretty much tear this cabinet apart behind my driver's seat to get into the wall and see if there's wires or what I'm dealing with, so I can see if I can put that cassette toilet in. Alright, so there's a little update on the whole renovation of the Clutch Trucker truck, which will hopefully make it much more livable, because I'm 54 years old. If I'm going to keep doing this until I retire, I want a toilet! I want a sink, so I can brush my teeth on a daily basis. You know, and rinse my hands, and I want a bigger bed. I want a little more comfortable space. I want some place to sit that's not the driver's seat or the bed. And I don't want to have to constantly move crap off on my bed every time and stack it on the passenger seat, which is what I have to do now every time I want to lie down. So, stay tuned in coming weeks. I'm going to get this whole project going, and I will be documenting everything on video as we go along, so it should be interesting. Well, we hope you enjoyed that. I always find it interesting when I get to deliver someplace like that where I'm completely inside a building. That was kind of fun. And then showing the guy going up the ramp that they had there behind it, and all that. The smoky skies in Idaho, kind of hard to tell, but they were there. And then going to the Traveler's Oasis, right? Out here in Eden, Idaho. I got to get some taco time tomorrow before I leave this place, though, and go do my pickup. Thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. Please like and comment if you'd like to. Only if you'd like to. I get your comments. Sometimes takes a day or two or three because I'm a working truck driver. Don't forget about Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how dumb you are. I'm going to teach every last one of you to walk, talk, shoot, shit like a United States soldier. Alright, there he is. He's on that strip. Oh, first leap didn't get it. Second leap didn't get it. Oh, come on. A little bit higher, Rusty. Get in position. And there he goes. He's got the begging strip. Got the Rusty Bounty. And there's the happy dog look. Oh, yes. Love them begging strips. Look on up. Come on, Rusty. Look up here. There you go.